Hello and happy Tuesday. Welcome to another episode of Discover with Spinetti. Today, we're talking about whether or not you can reverse cavities and how you can do that at home without seeing the dentist. Yes, I am spilling the beans. I'm spelling the secrets on how you can reverse the cavities so that you don't have to see the dentist so often, meaning as long as you see them on a regular basis, then you don't have to see them any extra time. So, how do you reverse cavities? Now, why am I talking about that? First of all, happy belated Canada Day, which was yesterday. And I recognize that it was a long weekend, and all of us, most of us, more than likely indulged in a little bit more than we usually indulge in, such as sweets and frequently snacking, maybe junk food here and there. And maybe we're feeling a little bit guilty and maybe out of whack. And I'm here to reassure you that you can definitely get back on track. And any cavities that may have started to form in the form of demineralizing your enamel can be reversed starting today. And that's what we're going to be discussing today. So, how do we get cavities? And it's important for me to discuss this first before I go into how to reverse the process. How we get cavities is by the level of acid in the mouth. That's literally how, that is the simple, basic element of how cavities happen, is by demineralization. The more demineralization that happens in the mouth, meaning that the enamel structure, the white part of your tooth, the way that it actually disintegrates and becomes less and less solid is by the acid that is in your mouth. So, how can acid become in your mouth? Well, the obvious one is by you consuming any acidic drinks or foods, such as, lemon or soda or so on and so forth. Any kind of acidic drinks or foods will cause an acidic environment in your mouth. The second is by consuming carbohydrates on a regular basis, on a frequent basis, such as snacking. If you're a grazer, it doesn't matter if you brush your teeth or floss on a regular basis, you are going to get cavities. It's a guarantee. And I guarantee it for myself, and I see it all the time. And the reason is because you are inducing or you're causing an acidic environment inside your mouth, which then leads to you having demineralized tissue, you having demineralized that white enamel, that white part of your tooth. It's going to become demineralized. So that's the second part. The third is by assessing your enamel strength, health, and thickness. What do I mean? I mean is that many people are born with demineralized enamel. Like some people are born with hypomineralized enamel, meaning that they don't have enough enamel. They have very, very thin enamel. And those people have to be extra vigilant. They have to be extra careful. And you always have to assume that you are in that category, even if you are not, because it's better to err on the cautionary side than for you to think that you have a lot of enamel and then be surprised later on when you find out that you don't. So that's the third rather. And the fourth is the location of the cavity. You have more propensity, or you have higher chance of actually you getting cavities in the back of the teeth than you do in the front of the teeth, simply because of the type of bacteria that are in your mouth, and also because the acid really pulls in the back of your mouth. So those are the four elements. Now, taking that into consideration, the two most important, the ones that you have most control of, obviously, are the first two. The one is that how much acidic foods and content that you actually consume, and two, how much sugars and carbohydrates you're consuming on a frequent basis. If you are a grazer, for instance. So what do you do? Three very simple steps, very, very simple steps. The first is to carry water with you all the time. And the reason why is because water helps neutralize your mouth, helps neutralize the acid inside your mouth. And so if you're a frequent snacker, and you right now you cannot focus on cutting down the snacks, then at least add water to your regimen. Add water, because when you add water, you're actually helping your mouth become more neutralized quicker, because you're washing that stuff down, not allowing the acid to build up inside your mouth. That's the biggest tip I can give you. The second is the obvious one, is to decrease the amount of snacking. Snacking seems to be the biggest culprit because it really fosters a huge acidic environment inside your mouth and causes this demineralization inside your mouth. And lastly is to brush, floss, and to use a Waterpik. To use a Waterpik is really important, especially if you have bridges and implants. Using a Waterpik really does help. And I find that people that use Waterpiks really have a very, very healthy gums. And if you have healthy gums, you basically will have healthy teeth. So it really comes down to that. Now, can you reverse the process of cavities? Absolutely, you can. And how you do that is exactly what I just said. So the first thing you have to do is neutralize the acid environment inside your mouth, because once you neutralize it, then you start encouraging the remineralization process inside your mouth. Because there's a constant remineralization and demineralization happening inside your mouth. It's a constant, cycle, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But the more that you encourage remineralization, the more that you're less prone in getting these deep cavities that are needing to be treated. Because as long as you're in that balance, as long as you're not tipping the balance over to demineralizing your enamel, making your enamel more prone to having those holes, those cavities inside your teeth, then you're going to be more successful at keeping your teeth healthy for a much longer period of time, and hopefully for the rest of your life. So that is the process, is to decrease the amount of acid inside your mouth. So that's why I really encourage that you carry water with you wherever you go, and you just sip water, keep sipping water throughout the entire day. Does that mean you're going to go to the bathroom more often? Yes, absolutely. But I mean, that's the price you have to pay for you snacking so often. If you don't snack very often, you don't have to carry water with you. But that is the number one tip that I can give you, is to drink as much water as you possibly can throughout the day, especially if you're a snacker. The second is obviously to use fluoride. Any kind of fluoride will cause your enamel to become stronger. And we talked about this in another podcast where I said that having fluoride incorporated as part of your enamel decreases the likelihood of it being demineralized, meaning that you have a much decreased chance of you getting cavities if you actually incorporate fluoride as part of your oral health routine. And it actually decreases your chances of getting cavities by 10 times. 10 times. Okay, so I mean, it's worth it. So those are the two biggest tips I can give you. First, drink water throughout the day. Carry water with you everywhere you go. And two, use fluoride wherever you brush your teeth. And I've even heard a dentist say that you can put some fluoride on your floss and then floss that way. I mean, I haven't read any research with regards to how effective that is, but I mean, it doesn't harm. So those are the two biggest tips I can give you to reverse the cavities at home, especially if those cavities are very fresh and new after coming back from a long weekend of Canada Day. So again, happy belated Canada Day. Hope you have a wonderful Tuesday. Welcome back to work. Have yourself a wonderful week. And of course, have a wonderful Tuesday. And as always, keep smiling.